Hello everyone. Today I'd like to discuss the buzz roll. It has many names, most commonly called or referred to as buzz roll, but is also referred to as a closed roll, an unmetered roll, a multiple bounce roll, a crush roll, a press roll. It's a buzz roll, same thing. All right, so we're going to discuss how we get that sound out of the drum, pad, or whatever you're working with. All right, you've probably been given or have access to the exercises we created on buzz rolls. There's 6 different ones on 2 pieces of paper. This video will discuss number 1 only. All right, so how to get a buzz roll out of the drum. First, knowing what is actually happening in a buzz roll is kind of ideal. So if I throw the stick down to the drum and let it bounce as many times as possible, we're working with rebound. So this is where a good starting point might be. So just let the stick fall on the drum. Don't really try and control how many times it's bouncing. So my hand's really loose at this point just to see what it feels like to let the stick do its own thing. This is different than a controlled stroke, which we are deliberately throwing down and accepting the stick back up for one stroke, one tap, boom. Multiple bounces is what we're looking for right now, so maybe pause this video and just take a second to feel what it's like when you let the stick just do what it wants. All right, so what we're going to do is work on condensing that many bounces into a small sound like this. That has that buzz quality. So basically I've taken all these big, long spaced out bounces and I've shoved them into a small little space called a buzz. Here's an illustration of those 2 strokes. So here's the very open one. If you think of it like a wave, this is very open and loose, and you can hear all the bounces separately. It takes all those bounces and shoves them into a small space so that you hear more of a buzz rather than all the individual pulses. Hope that helps. Illustration by yours truly. So, discussing the exercises. So exercise 1 talks buzz quality. So what we need to do is get that sound out of both hands evenly. Okay, so here's how we do it. You've got, under number 1, you've got 3 measures. One is 8 hits, one is 4 beats, and the other is 2 beats. They're all the same concept though, you're just using different amount of beats. So tempos to do this at, excellent, somewhere between 50 and 60. It doesn't need to be fast. It's not about speed, it's about quality. Speed comes later, and then this will start to sound really good later. But right now it's just about the quality. Excuse me. So I'm gonna show. This is how you practice number 1. This is tempo 50, 8th notes. 1, 2, here I go, and 1, and then left. So I'm really focusing, or should be really focused on the sound I'm producing and trying to make them very even from hand to hand. So right now I'm just repeating measure 1. Okay, so this is measure 1, and you're just listening for the sound, just making the sound. The best way to think of how to get that crush sound, that buzz roll sound, is when you when you hit the drum to the head, you kind of have to press. And I'm kind of pressing a little bit between these 3 fingers. My thumb and first 2 is where the majority of the pressure is coming. So You might see people use a lot of their arm because they're kind of pressing the stick onto the drum head and it's forcing it to get that buzz sound. At a lower dynamic, you can still use your wrist. It's a little bit of everything. Your wrist is connected to your arm, and your arm's connected, blah, blah, blah. It all works together. So it might have to move a little bit more to get that sound, especially at a louder dynamic. It might involve more arm. All right? So I would pause this video and I would work through each of these measures. Measure 1, 2, and 3. And I would do so for like 2 minutes for each measure. Just loop it. So I'll do measure 3 as an example, which is just 2 beats on each hand. I would set a timer for 2 minutes and just start going. Allow yourself to be very meticulous with the sound you're hearing. I'm not going to do it for 2 minutes because I'm really just kind of telling you how to practice it at home. All right, you have to just spend the time. This is something, it takes time. It's all about feel. Everybody's hands are a little bit different, and every drum is a little bit different. So if I'm using a snare drum, for example, it's going to feel a little bit different than the drum pad I was just using. I'll try not to blow anyone's ears out, but okay, so working with a drum, you just have to alter. And as percussionists, we play on all kinds of different surfaces, so we got to be comfortable with whatever the surface we're playing allows us as far as rebound goes. So you can do it here, practice it on multiple surfaces. Flip this thing over, practice it on that as well. You'll notice it's going to feel completely different. All right? Get to work. Kidding. Enjoy the art of practice.